Alright, welcome to Translating Words into Mathematical Symbols, Inequalities edition. So, in the previous unit, you talked about, solving word problems with equations. Well, the nice thing about these inequalities is we're not really going to be solving them, we're just going to be kind of setting them up. So it's just kind of looking at the scenario and going, okay, here's how we set this up, here's what could happen, and going on from there. So, let's get started. So, Bob is baking a multi-tiered cake for a wedding. So if you've seen wedding cakes before, if not, I guess you could Google it. They're normally multi-tiered cake. So, an 8-inch tier cake will feed 24 people, and a 12-inch tier cake will feed 36 people. Well, he knows that there are 326 guests there, so we need to write an inequality to represent this. By representing this, it's how many of each cake would we need at the party. So, first things first, we should always label what we're talking about. So, X is going to be our 8-inch tier cake. Y is going to be our 12-inch tier cake. So we have an 8-inch tier cake and a 12-inch tier cake. And then we have that 326 guests. That's very important. So we know that so many of our 8-inch cakes and so many of our 12-inch cakes are going to feed all of our guests. So basically what that means is that and means we're going to add them together. So many 8-inch cakes plus so many 12-inch cakes are going to feed all of our guests. We just need to fill in some new numbers here and some symbols. So, 8-inch cake. If we look back to our paragraph, we know that an 8-inch cake will feed 24 people. So that means that we're going to take that 24 times however many 8-inch cakes we have, which we're representing with X. We're going to add that to our 12-inch cake, which looks like from our paragraph feeds 36 people. So, we now need to figure out what is going to go between our cakes and our number of guests. And it can't be an equal sign because it'd be very difficult to get, an exact number of cake. Plus, you never know, there could be extra guests that come in. So we probably want to get not just equal to, but probably more, just in case, because you never know, someone may have 2 pieces of cake. So, we don't want it to just be equal to, we want it to be greater than or equal to. So, the inequality we get for this is 24x plus 36y is greater than or equal to that 326. So basically we're going to take all of those 8-inch cakes plus all of our 12-inch cakes, and we want it to be more than or equal to that 326, because it is okay if we have more cake, especially for the guests. They'll want more cake. Now we're looking at a restaurant. A restaurant's buying new tables. They want to seat at least 302 guests. I should have put at least 302 guests. So, they can seat more guests. That's perfectly fine. Small tables seat 4 guests and large 6 guests. So we're going to write an inequality to represent this. Again, first things first, we need to label. So X is going to represent our small table. Y is going to represent our large table. And I'm going to write this 302 here because it's very important. So, we know that if we take so many of our small tables plus so many of our large tables, that's going to give us enough seats or more for our 302 guests. We want there to be at least 302 guests so we can make a profit in our restaurant here. So what represents our small tables in the paragraph? Looks like 4 guess. So we're going to take 4x plus our large table seat 6 guess. So 4x plus 6y. Now we can be equal to this 302, but it could also be greater than, because hey, we want there to be at least 302 guess, but if we can fit more, that just means we're going to make more money. So 4x plus 6y is greater than or equal to 302 represents our problem here. So go ahead and do this problem on your own, talking about an electronics store that wants to make a profit. So go ahead and pause the video and do this. And here's the solution to that example. I let x represent DVD, y was TV, and we wanted to have a profit more than 9,300, and I'm sorry, it said more than. So more than means that that equal sign needs to go away. So because it says more than, it cannot be equal to that $9,300. So it's 100x plus 550y is greater than $9,300. I know this one was a little bit tricky because it got me until I looked at it a second time. So once you have figured that out and checked your work, that is the end of this video.